Hi, I'm Lisa. About a few months ago, I finished the Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. And this book was like a big influence on me. That's why I decided to make this video to tell you what I've learned from it and also to share with you 5 main changes that happened to me after I implemented his teaching into my everyday life. The first thing to know about this book, not only this book, but I think all the Eckhart Tolle's teaching, is that while you listen to him or reading him, you already can experience some changes, some shifts that happen to you. And this book, you don't need to analyze a lot or to use a lot your mind. It's something to feel. It can help you to change how you're feeling, and you need kind of to be ready to receive the knowledge that she is given in this book, because the first book I read about 10 years ago, the book that is called Power of Now, and I don't remember anything too special changed to me or happened, and I think I was just not ready, because this book I think is also as good as the other one. A New Earth I read several months ago, and I noticed things changing already while I was listening to it. I was listening to audiobook, the one that Eckhart Tolle is reading by himself, and I think this also gives more effect to this, more impact. I will not tell much about what he's teaching. The main things are about Power of Now yet, and about being present, how to learn to live fully here and now, to not overthink, how to find your inner voice, your inner wisdom that is not just some academic knowledge. Also about how not to be too attached to your thoughts, to your mind, how to stop letting your mind to be always in charge, to be like your boss, how to build a different relationship with this. So all about this teaching, what he's advising to do, what changes you can experience through the book, you can find it by reading it, listening it, or also by watching his videos on YouTube. He has a lot. I will tell you the real things that happened to me, the insights I've got and the changes that happened. They started quite slowly, but I'm already feeling them, and I think by noticing them in small things, when they change in just a bit, partially in my life, I want to continue experimenting with this, practicing the present, practicing what he is teaching, and you'll see what bigger results I will got later. So let's start. I will share with you 5 things that have changed. The first one, I start enjoying the process more, because before I was mostly doing things focused on result, doing for result, and especially if it's some routine things to do or some boring things to do, I was always in my mind thinking how to finish more quickly, maybe being a bit annoyed, irritated by this, and the focus was in the future, on the result. So I didn't enjoy enough the process. Now I start to see these interesting things happened. Did you know that you can enjoy even something so simple like brushing your teeth? Now I know that I can. And this is a small example. I have many others. Another one that I wanted to share. I meditating quite often in my life, and I started doing this many years ago, I think around 7 years ago. And I was doing this for the result, because I noticed one time that after I started doing some meditation, later I feel better, and even some things start changing in my life. I was different states, maybe I was doing something differently, but I was focused on the changes, the result that I was getting. And meditation was for me more like some routine, some task to do, and not the process to enjoy. And what happened now, when I start practicing the present, this power of now, when I came back to my regular meditation that I was doing before, I noticed I'm like fully in the process. I'm enjoying them. I start to do them more. I catch this feeling when I do them really for the process, not just by expecting how I will feel after, what changes will happen to me, what changes will happen in my life. I really start to be present in them. And while doing them more, of course I feel better, and of course it also influences my life more. The second thing is I start worrying less. And of course, when you're more in the present, when you're practicing it, when you focusing on more on your feelings, when you're observing things, when you focused on like the reality that is here and now, you start overthinking less. All these worries about the future. What if I still need to do this? How I will figure out this? How I will do this? When I will do this? I need to answer this email. What I will write? I need to finish this task. I need to do this task. I need to fit this like in the schedule. What will happen then? What will happen next? How I will deal with this? All these kind of thoughts, they are all worries. And you can worry mostly if you let your mind to go to the future, planning, controlling, or like being scared. So these fears and worries can decrease quite a lot when you learn to be present. I notice that I have this tendency to spend quite a lot of time in the future. My mind likes to do it. But when I start to feel this difference, that I'm not just my mind, I don't have to do everything that my mind tells me. I don't have to believe everything my mind like gives me this like ideas. Let's think about this, let's figure out this, what if this will happen, or things that are not real, they're not here, they're not existing, they just in kind of imagination. So when you're practicing present, you really start worrying less, and I already feel it, and I see how it's getting better the more I practice it. The third change is I start making better and faster decisions. When I'm not spending too much time in all the worries and all these thoughts, when I focused more on reality or on the present, I can feel what like need to be done now. What is like from like all the actions that I can do, from all decisions I need to make, what is more real for me now? What is like more connected to this present moment, to my reality here, not to the future or also not to the past? What is like really important here? What is really important now? And what can I do? When I stop thinking too much, when I calm down my thoughts, when I start to connect more with what I'm feeling, the answer comes, and it's really easier to make decision. The important thing is here to start small. I am practicing this more on not too important things, to check how these ideas that comes to me from present, then like how they actually influence my life. What happens after I make this step? If I made this decision, if I focus on what's like coming to me in this specific moment. And for now I see that it's working, and I think that I'm gradually moving to bigger things and to more important decisions. The fourth thing, I start doing more. You may think like if you're just like being present, feeling, experiencing, thinking, maybe you will not do anything because you're enjoying the moment, enjoying everything. But when you stop wasting your energy on all your thoughts and worries, also on maybe regrets, because some people have a tendency to spend more time like in the past, not in the future, different. When you're present, you're not in the future, you're not in the past, you're here. So you're not wasting your energy by thinking about something that doesn't exist, because your past it doesn't exist anymore and your future doesn't exist, only in your imagination. And you're here in the reality. What are you doing in the reality? Things that are kind of important here and now, maybe it's just like to do the dishes, or to cook a meal, or something else, maybe to talk with someone, maybe actually to make a decision that you're delaying, but you see that it's important here and now because you need to move somewhere, because maybe you can't do anything because the decision is not made, and you see, I'm stuck, I need to decide something. You're present, you make the decision, and you're doing more, you're moving more because you're here. And that's what I already see. And the example that I told you with meditations is one of them, because I consider it's still like action. When I start to enjoy the process, I start doing more, I saw that I stopped also thinking, should I or should not like join this group meditation, should not do it now, maybe I should do something else. I start to catch this moment and this impulse that comes to me, like, oh, I want to do it, and I'm just doing it, and it became so much easier. There is less this kind of inner obstacle. It's just like flowing. When it's the energy flowing, you're doing more, and this is the other change that I can see. And the fifth change that I notice is better intuition, because when you start trusting this inner voice that's coming to you from this present moment, and when you like act in line in this like information or feeling that you received, and you see the result, like one of the results that you're really doing more, you enjoy the process, you can be present, and then the change that you get in your life. When I start noticing that this small, not too important decisions, but that were made in present, that were made not like just by logic and analyzing everything, that like came to me, they were so real. And when I start acting in line on them, the results were much better than expected. It's something that I couldn't predict with like relying just on my logical thoughts, just in my mind. It's a bit different wisdom that you can find connection with, and like this you can see how intuition is increasing. I see it more and more each day. I still in the process of like kind of trusting it more. I'm still practicing on smaller thing, but I enjoy this. I enjoy the process of practicing it, of changing it, of trying. I'm trying more, and I see how I can rely more and more on this part of me, on this part that have this intuition. So these were my main 5 main things that have changed, that I learned, that's like my insight and things that were important to me. And I hope it was interesting for you to know. Maybe you will also be inspired and will listen or read this book. I hope you'll enjoy it. If you have any questions, you can leave me a comment below, and if you like the video, subscribe to my channel and click the bell to get notification about my new videos.